Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. It is December 16th. Cold as can be outside still. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow, hopefully. It should be nice and pretty. I do have to go out though, so I hope it's not too bad. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about this occurring problem with who people who use Macintosh computers in the Mac OS and are also printing. This does not affect those of you who are Mac users who do not print photographs. It seems to only affect those of you who print. As you may know, I used to use a Mac maybe 10, 12 years ago. And when I started printing photos, I quickly decided I better switch over to Windows. And it wasn't because Windows was any better, but it was because, and I'll tell you why in a little while. But anyway, let's go ahead and read what this individual, poor individual, is experiencing here. Then I'll tell you what my answer was. I have used an Epson 3880 for many years and get lovely prints through Lightroom using a variety of papers from Ilford and Epson. I do not have a color calibrated workflow, and he spells color C-O-L-O-U-R, so I know he is not here in the United States. He may be in the UK or Australia or any of the European countries. Now, so he says, I do not have a color calibrated workflow, but have never needed it, as the prints have been fine using only soft proofing. So apparently he soft proofs, and when he prints, he gets a pretty good match. So by chance, his monitor is probably very well calibrated out of the box. That doesn't usually happen, but it can. Now, today I tried to print for the first time since upgrading to OS Sierra. Now, Mac loves to use California landmarks for their new OSs, and I think it's cute, but and the whole color management was screwed up, with dark prints having a blue tint and dull reds. Really odd. I went to the Epson site and downloaded what I could see was the latest driver, and then he goes on to give the number, although it is shown as for OS El Capitan, another cute landmark from California. I installed it and even navigated through the library to the profiles folder, where I copied the Epson profiles and popped them in the ColorSync ICC profiles folder. That's where ICC profiles live in a Mac. The profiles now appear as options in my Lightroom print module, so I can select them as before. I tried printing again using the correct profiles and Lightroom color management, but still have the same issues. I contacted Epson support and they pointed me to the same driver number download and an installation guide of their profiles, which is good, but a bit out of date. The printer dialog that shows all the supply levels and printer actions are still telling me to upgrade the software by going to the Apple Store. No updates available. Or to Epson, which I have already done. I'm currently stumped. Anyone got any ideas of similar issues? Even though I have had to install drivers a few times after software updates. Well, let me go ahead and I'm the only one that has answered him so far. And this is my answer, and then I will elaborate on that. Okay, my answer to you is going to sound or come across as crass, but please answer me this. Why do Mac users, especially those who are involved in printing photos, insist on immediately upgrading your OS just because it's available today? The usual results are almost universally sudden problems with color. Apple puts out a new OS today, and people expect Epson or Canon to immediately have an upgrader driver that fixes the problems this new OS ultimately introduces. It will take months for a new driver usually to appear. The moral here is you should not have tried to fix what was originally not broken. It is why detected to Windows It is why I defected to Windows years ago. I would go back to my older OS until a proper driver is available. And that's about all you can do. Now, what happens is with Windows, a Windows operating system usually takes approximately what? Every year or so, they put it out. That gives Epson and Canon and HP and all of the other manufacturers plenty of time to load those OSs into their computers and design a new driver for it. And usually it is available within a week or so. Not so with Apple. Apple apparently just pops out a new OS, doesn't give those printer manufacturers a chance to come up with a driver update to take care of those problems that are, they're going to crop up. This happens every time somebody upgrades the Mac OS. All of a sudden their color goes to hell and they don't know what happened. Well, what happened was you upgraded. That's what happened. So if your OS is producing beautiful prints through whatever printer, in this case it was a 3880, why in the hell would you want to upgrade when you know, if you read these forums and you read these reports from people, that every time they upgrade to a newer OS by Apple, they all of a sudden have color problems. They didn't yesterday and today they do. My moral of the story is do not upgrade until you know for sure that whatever printer manufacturer made your printer has an upgraded driver for it. As he states, the newest driver is for the El Capitan and not for the Sierra. So why would you go ahead and load that same driver that you know darn well doesn't quite work well or get along, hold hands with the new OS that you just upgraded your computer with? So that is my rant and my suggestion. Guys, if you insist on sticking with Mac and still wanting to print photos and you're getting great results, do not upgrade. Download it, do whatever you need to do, but keep it until whatever brand of printer you use has produced and offered a ready to ship, tested driver, okay, for that particular OS. And that is it. That will prevent the, if it's not broken, don't fix it, don't try to fix it, problem from cropping up. All right, I hope that didn't come across too crass, okay, or mean, but that is the sad fact, and in fact, it is a fact. All right, thanks again, everyone. Please subscribe, share, and like, and don't forget to click on the little bell when you subscribe so that you get notifications of all of the new content that I will be putting out, not only before the year's end and also next year. Next year should be awesome. All right, so thanks again. Happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.